Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to talk about how to load the data or bulk loading from Amazon S3 using the copy command from JSON file. Bulk loading data from Amazon S3 using the copy command to load the JSON file. Here are the steps. The first step, I am going to create a database schema and JSON table. Create a file format, object, create a named stage, object, and fourth step, copy data into target table. Here target table is our JSON type table. It's not relational data table. And then after loading, we will see the resolve data errors related to data issues if we have any issues. And step number 6, verify the loaded data. So we'll see how the data looks like after loading the data into JSON table from the JSON file. And last step is optional. You can clean up the objects whatever we have created as part of this demo or this example. Now let's start demo for the same. Here I am going to use the account admin role. As part of the first step, I am going to create a database. Please note that if you create any database in Snowflake, default or automatically, it includes the schema named called public, where you can create an objects, and one more schema will get created, that is called the information schema, which is a read only. So here I am going to create a database and also my own schema. So to create a database, create or replace database name. This is the simplest command to create a database. We do have some more parameters. Okay, now I am not going to use those parameters. See, database, my database successfully created. Now I am going to create a schema. Please note that if you don't use any database before creating a schema, then where the schema will create. So the moment when you create a database, it will, after that, if you start creating the schema without specifying any database, then that schema is going to create under database whatever you have created from the same session. So here I just created a database called my database. Now I am going to create a schema without specifying data base name. So let me show you that one. Okay, create or replace schema. So schema, my schema successfully created. Now what I am going to do, let me show you the what is the current or context information for your session. So to do that, we have a context functions, current underscore database, current underscore schema, current underscore role. Current underscore role I have already set it for this one, for this session. So let me, okay, I executed. See, I didn't use the any use command, even though my current database showing database, my database, and current schema is my schema. Now if you create any another schema, then your current, now let me create another schema over here, schema 1, schema underscore 1. I am going to create another, okay, with now with specifying the database name. Okay, now I created, okay, so schema my schema underscore 1 successfully created. Now what happened, now I am going to execute the context functions. Earlier it was my current schema was my schema. Now see my schema underscore 1, that means if you don't use then whatever you have created, that database, that schema, that object will be your current content. So now I am going to use this one. So use schema. If you have multiple schemas from the same database, now if you are to set any particular schema, you have to use the use schema name. So yeah, before creating the objects, statement executed successfully. This is all about how to create a schema from within the database. Now let me create a JSON table object from the schema. Okay, so to create a data table, JSON table, create or replace table name and column name with data type as the variant. So this is the one of the semi-structured data type. In Snowflake, we have a three types of semi-structured data types. One is the variant, another one is the array, and third one is the object. So I am going to, because here we are going to load the JSON file, hence I am using the variant as the data type. Okay, with one column. So now this is the first step. So creating the table with that. Okay, table, my JSON table successfully created. That means we have completed the step 1. Now I am going to do the steps 2. As part of the steps 2, we have to create a JSON file format. Okay, to create that one, create or replace file format, my JSON format. The name could be anything, any valid name, and type is equal to JSON. These are the option parameters, and strip underscore outer underscore array is equal to true. So let me create this file format, my JSON format successfully created. So here I use the type as the JSON. If you don't specify this type parameter, the file format, the default value is CSV. And the other parameter, strip underscore outer underscore array, what is the use of this one? When you set the true, this instructs the JSON parser to remove the root brackets like this. These are the brackets in your JSON file, so that it will remove these brackets while loading data with the copy command. Okay, while using this file format option. This is all about how to create a file format. Okay, steps 2 completed. Now I am going to create a named stage object as part of the step 3. So to do that, create or replace stage, my JSON stage, file format, whatever you have created, because here we have to use the file format as the JSON format file format. That's why whatever I have created just now as part of the steps 2, I am using that one. And then you have to, this is the named object, stage object. When you create any stage object, you have to attach the one of the location. It could be a internal location or external location. Now here I am using the external stage. That means S3, I am going to read the data from the S3 bucket, so that I have to use the URL as the S3, and what is the bucket name. So here I am using the bucket name as the snowflake underscore hyphen docs, which is provided by the Snowflake. It is a public bucket, so that I no need to specify the credentials. So everyone can access, or everybody can access this bucket. So this is a public bucket. That's why I'm not going to specify any credentials. Let me create this external stage named object. Okay, stage area, my underscore JSON underscore stage successfully created. Okay. Now here, date format and compression I didn't specify. So default will take as the auto only. So parameter values aren't specified the default values. Like, date format. What is the date format? Suppose if in your file there is a date columns, then while reading the data, it will take the date format as the auto date format. That means whatever that default date format for your Snowflake uh, account level. We can change that one also. Whatever you have set currently, that only it will take. And compression is equal to auto means, so to load the this copying the file, it will compress the file from S3 into your while copying the data. That is all about how to create a named stage object as part of the steps 3. Now I am going to do the copy data into target table as part of the step 4. So to do that, copy into your JSON table from your stage. Within that stage, if you have a subfolders, you can specify that subfolders. So within that bucket, we have a tutorials. Under tutorials, we have another folder data loading, where we have a JSON file contacts.jsn file, and on error is equal to file. So on error is equal to skip file. Here I am using the option skip file. What it means, if you have any errors in the JSON file, it will just skip, and whatever that valid records it will load. So what are the other options on error? So on error will have, we can provide the continue, skip file underscore num, skip file underscore num percentile, abort statement. So let me execute one by one. So continue. Say continue means, suppose here example, here we are going to load only one file. Within that data loading, assume that we have a multiple files. Okay, in that case, if any one of the file having the invalid records, even though I want to continue to load other files, in that case we have to use the on error is equal to continue. Okay, and also apart from that, you can, sorry, this is the continue means within the file if you have a error, then we can continue. But if you have a multiple files, then if any one of the file is having error, in that case I want to ignore that file and then skip that file, and then I want to move to another file. In that case you have to use the skip file option. Okay, and then another option, skip file, percent. Say example, in each file I have a 100 records. So 100 records, out of 100 records I want to ignore the 10 records. If we have a 10 records, then let it be continue. Okay, if more than 10 records, then let's fail. In that case you have to use the skip underscore file underscore number of records you have to specify. Instead of number, you can specify the percentage also. This is the another option. And abort statement, if any error I want to immediately terminate my process, in that case we have to use the abort statement. Now let me execute this copy into my, okay, my JSON table. So now actual loading has done. So this is the, after loading you will see this output. Okay, this is the file and this is the status, loaded or not. So if you see loaded, that means loaded successfully, and we have a partially loaded partially, and error we have a different status options you will see. Okay, here success, and here see this file contacts.json file having 3 rows. So number of false rows, that means it's read 3 rows, 3, okay, 3 rows, and rows loaded is the 3 only, and the error limit we have set the default as the 1. So here, and if you see here, error seen 0, that means loaded successfully all 3 records. Okay, these are the options you can see once you load the data from by using the copy command. Okay, now let me, I am going to use the select last query id. Whatever you have executed, you can let, I am going to the okay, why I am going to take the last query id, I am going to use the last query id as part of another step. So let me get the last query id. So there is one command called the last underscore query id, but with that you can get the last query id. That means that this query id is nothing but your copy command query id just now we have executed. So if you execute this copy command again, then you will get another query id. So by using this, you can pass the parameter also 1 minus 1 like that, or else if you don't want this one, you can use go to the history tab, and then history tab you will get the all query IDs. So example, if you go to here, let me, yeah, see, this is the query ID for last query ID, but we want copy command. This is the, so here also you can get the, you know, query ID. So this is the query ID for the copy command. So you want to know that this query ID related to which command, then you, the moment when you click on that, you know, query ID, it will take is the profile option. In that profile option, you will see the query ID under SQL text. Okay, this is the one, and I'm not going to in the details page. This is the where you can get, and profile is related to your query plan or execution plan. So okay, here I am not going to explain about the what is the profile, all these things. Okay, now let me go back to worksheets. So we have copy the data. Step 4 is completed now. Okay, now let me do the step resolve the data load errors related to data issues as part of the step 5. So to do that, what I am going to do, I am going to create a new table, create a replace table name, save underscore copy errors as select star from validate. Validate is the one table function provided by the Snowflake. Okay, it is a table function where this will take the input as the one input as the your table name. Okay, what is the our table name? My JSON table, because by using the copy command we have loaded data from the JSON file into this table. So now I am going to see is there error related to this table while loading the data from JSON to this table. So that is the table. You, why I am going to use the another parameter job ID. Job ID is nothing but your query ID. So you may load multiple times. So for what query you are going to see the errors. In that case, just now we have captured the query ID. So copy that query ID and paste this query ID, okay, as job ID. Now let me run this one. So after, okay, let me run. Yeah, table save underscore copy underscore errors successfully created. Okay, now we'll see the data from this one. So when, please note that if this table having data, that means there are some bad records or error records are there. If this table having the empty records, that means everything loaded successfully without any. So here our case, as I told you in the copy command, during the copy command, so there were no error records. Same here also we can see, double check that one, there are no error records with that table. So that is all about step number 5. Now I am going to show you the verifying the data, loaded data, as part of the step 6. Okay, this is very simple. So verifying the data means just you retrieve the data from the table. Okay, select star from table. Please note that this table object type is the, this is not a relational table, it is a variant data type, so that everything data will be stored into one row. So okay, we have a 3 rows are there in the JSON data. Okay, three customer IDs, each customer related information will store into one row. So the moment when you click on this one, this is the data: customer ID, address, company, email, name. Within that name we have a first name, last name and phone. So this is the, you can see the data how looks like. Now what I am going to do, how to extract the data readable format, like a relational format. Anyhow, I am not going to explain about the flatten function. Okay, here what I am going to do, by using the parse underscore JSON function, what we can fetch the row by, field wise, like ID and address company email, and the name will have a first name and last name, so that and two parts are there from the name, first name and last name. So the first and last I am giving the alias name as the first underscore name, last underscore name, and phone number from the JSON table. So what will happen the moment when you run this query, I'm not going to store this data into another relational table, because I'm going to make one more video how to load the data from JSON file into relational table instead of you know JSON table. So that I will do another video. So here now you see data looks like this one. So here ID, address, company, like a relational table. Please note that here we have a double quotes are there. We need to trim those things while writing your query. Okay, that is very simple. So that you can just trim that. That is all about step number 6. Now step number 7, just clean up, which is optional. So cleanup is nothing but, as part of the demo I have created all these database and objects. Suppose if I don't want to keep this one, you just simply drop the table, table name is the myJSON table. If you want to drop all these things one by, it will take time, and you need to remember all this one. So if you want, you can do, if you remember, or else I want to do at a time, instead of doing this each and every object, you just simply drop database name. So let me drop this one, so that it will drop the entire database. Okay. Okay, that is all about how to load the copy the data from JSON file into JSON table from S3 bucket. Thank you for watching my video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and don't forget to click on bell icon for the notifications. Please share it and like it. Thank you once again for watching my video.